Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Show with John Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook Preview Show. We are here for the Tuesday 9-game main slate. Sir James, how are we doing today, man?
Doing fine. Bit by Tyrese Halliburton on Monday. We move on to the Tuesday slate with hopes of greener pastures.
Yeah, 9 games here on this Tuesday slate. Some pretty interesting matchups here as well. Game total wise, Golden State Washington's looking at a game total over 240. Utah Atlanta 237 there in that one. We also have actually the 10 p.m. game is not going to be on the slate, right? Nope, no 10 p.m.
No,
We're done at 8. We're done at 8 p.m. here, folks. So Charlotte, Milwaukee's 224, San Antonio, Minnesota 224. Detroit, Chicago, 230 there. We have a slate low, 216. Brooklyn, Orlando, Celtics, and the Pelicans and the Knicks checking in at 219 as well. So some high totals, some low totals, but some good matchups here to target.
Yeah, definitely some good matchups to target.
Let's just get into this slate here. So we got 9 games to talk about. We'll do it quickly. Point guard position, Luka Doncic, your top guy, 12K. Brunson on a back-to-back at 96. Steph Curry at 95. Donovan Mitchell, $9,400. Those are your 9K and above guards.
Yeah, Luka, tough spot, but stars in tough spots have we've seen ceilings out of, so definitely can get to Luka. He has 64 fantasy points against Cleveland in a matchup against them already. Brunson, the back-to-back we shouldn't worry about. He had a big game on Monday in a competitive game too, so that obviously helped his cause. Steph needs a nice bounce back after getting just nothing to fall. Really good spot to do so. Golden State starts a big road trip in this game. I love Donovan Mitchell's price. I mean, coming off one bad game after an illness, and we're at 9,400. He hasn't been 9,400 basically since Darius Garland went down. I mean, since December 16th was the last time he was sub 9.5. So, pretty good price for Donovan Mitchell. I'd be more interested in the 9K guys, but Luka has a ceiling.
Yeah, Luka has a ceiling. I agree. Mitchell obviously showing the 50-plus fantasy point upside. I mean, it's over 10x at 9,400. DeJounte Murray here, obviously, had that matchup against Orlando. No Trae Young, no problems. He had 25, 9, and 11, 57 fantasy points. Now, back-to-back 50-plus fantasy point games. He's still under 9K now. Big price bump up. I'm glad to see it. We should have expected it. Good matchup here at home against Utah. You have Kyrie Irving, Tyrese Maxey, Damian Lillard at 86. Cade Cunningham on a back-to-back. Cade went nuclear and is still going nuclear here in this matchup against the Knicks. This is a tie game now. He's at 32, 5, and 7 at the time of our recording here in just 30 minutes of play. So you asked for a ceiling out of Cade in terms of minutes. I have to assume they let him finish this one out, gets up to 35, but what does that mean for the second leg of a back-to-back if he's playing 35 minutes? So certainly something to watch there. That's your 8K tier.
Yeah, really hard not to just we're going to get a super popular DeJounte Murray again. He was 70% almost the other night. And if you didn't have him, you were dead. He goes for 61 rebound shy of a triple-double, almost back-to-back triple-double. So if you want to get to Murray, you and the rest of the field will be there. Tough spot for Maxey, obviously, against Boston. But, he always has, he can always nuke a slate. Kyrie, same really tough spot. He can nuke a slate. Return to Cleveland. I mean, Dame looked really good against Philly. Really, obviously, tough spot against Minnesota, but really good fantasy production out of the break. Big minutes, obviously. Great matchup against Charlotte. Just can Charlotte keep it competitive? We've seen Charlotte obviously be a better team with their new iteration. So maybe they can, maybe they won't. Milwaukee does let bad teams hang around. So if you want to get to Dame at 86, it's a good price. Cade, like you say, TBD, but also he's shooting 50% from 3 lately. We know what the Bulls do. They don't defend the 3-point line. So I definitely have some interest in some 3-point shooters for Detroit.
Sure. Under 8K, we got Kobe White on the opposite side of that Detroit matchup there at $7,400 for him. McCollum, we'll see. He's questionable. Devin Vassell, 6,900. Darius Garland at 68. Cam Thomas is on the back-to-back. Derek White's here. But they gave Bojan point guard or Bogdan point guard eligibility. I know we've been fans of Tyus at times this season. Where are you with the 6K guards?
I mean, Garland's a pretty good price. We saw even with the return of Mitchell, he did look pretty good. 32 fantasy points in that Washington game. 1,600 though.
Better when he's 58.
Definitely better when he's 58. I like the Bogdan price. I love the minutes as well. I think that's obviously something we are monitoring. Sans Trae Young, 36 minutes is elite. So definitely interested in some Bogdanovich, multi-position eligible. Tyus, of course, we missed the assist prop in the OKC game. Right back on track in Cleveland. They're dealing with a bunch of backcourt injuries. Shamit, Koulibaly, Denny, Kispert. I mean, they have a lot of down players that are potentially out here. So Tyus might be asked to shoulder a little bit of a more offensive load too. Definitely interested there. Golden State's defense has ticked up tremendously since Draymond returned, which I don't know if that's a surprise to anybody because that's the calling for Draymond. But I'm okay, and can't probably get to Pajemski with the return of Chris Paul.
Yeah, right. Chris Paul expected to be in the lineup, so we'll see how involved he is initially. If they use him in, if they put him right back out there, but that rotation, I mean, who wins out minutes? Is it Pajemski or is it Klay Thompson? Like, where?
Yeah, it's gonna be muddy. For
yeah,
sure.
it's gonna be interesting. Under 6K guards. I mean, Kente George was a chalk monster the other day. Again, hasn't had like the greatest of games, but he's still doing enough to kind of pay off the price tag. It is rising though, so we are going to need to see some better shooting performances out of him. This is another good spot potentially for him to have a good game. I don't know if we touch Chris Paul off the gate. I don't think we're going to go there at 55. You have Io DeSumo at 54 looks pretty good here. You have the Orlando guards. Like, what's your thoughts of some value tier?
Dude, it's Io. It's Io with a bullet. He has been amazing out of the break. He's really been amazing for a long time. We had questions early in the year about the scoring. That is completely gone. Outside of one game in his last, I mean, he scored double figures in every game since January 13th, but one. So that like former version of Io DeSumo that couldn't score, that's gone. The shot attempts have been great, 12 plus in 4 of his last 5. 5,400 for Io against Detroit is an amazing spot. That would be where I would start. I would, and I'll say it low, so maybe people don't tune away from the show. Jordan Poole, maybe, possibly. He's kind of been decent coming out of the break. Coming off obviously his best game probably as a Wizard. 31 actual, 5-5. They were competitive throughout, and again, they're just really banged up. They've already ruled out Koulibaly. I believe Kispert and Denny are not out. I think they're both listed questionable. So like, I just think there's a kind of a lot to like about Jordan Poole, 5,800. Not going to mention that one thing that he may be playing a team that he may or may not have played for because I don't care for that. But
he did have 25 actual against them.
He did
in the first meeting. So
he did. I'm sure that, and I don't remember. I don't think Draymond Green played in that game. If I remember correctly, he did not. Draymond Green is going to play in this game, so there will be a lot of cameras on that one for sure. But I'm a little bit interested in Poole. I think the points were obviously great, but 38 minutes, and we haven't seen that all year from Drew.
Right. No, I agree. Anybody else, or are we moving on over?
Value. Brooklyn started Dennis Schroeder.
Yep.
And Simmons on a back-to-back. He hasn't played back-to-back, so I assume Schroeder starts again right now through 8 minutes in the third quarter, 14 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds. He's made 3 of his 4 3-point shots, so 4,800 for Dennis Schroeder is not the worst. Not the best, not the worst.
Right.
I I don't think there's anything else, but I guess McCollum. Who did they started Zion at point guard the other day? So I'm Hawkins still probably only going to play mid-20s. No, there's nothing else.
Okay. Moving on over to the shooting guard position here again. Well, guys, we have discussed again Anthony Edwards at 9K against San Antonio. Kind of like that price tag for him. Ingram at 8K, not a terrible price tag there. If McCollum is out, you got him against the Knicks at 8K. Jaylen Brown at $7,700. DDV on the back-to-back at 73. McCallum the back-to-back at 71. Kind of your top half there.
Yeah, Ant for sure. Gobert questionable again. We saw him shoulder a big low. The 8 rebounds and 9 rebounds in 2 games. Gobert's like been dealing with or not been in the lineup. And he also has just been on a 6 stretch. 8 games straight of 45 plus fantasy points. Finally priced appropriately, and we've talked about the mid 8K price tag for a while. And
even dude, you got a price decrease from the 49 fantasy points. So.
Yeah, it's kind of insane. So definitely in on Ant. Ingram, if there's no McCollum, no problem getting there. Just they had a bad game against Chicago. It is what it is. He had 9
team, Chicago. Those things happen sometimes.
He had 9 turnovers. Like that is not gonna. That's not gonna happen again. Knock on wood. So definitely can get to Ingram. I think Jaylen looks good coming out of the break. The scoring is good. The peripheral stats have been good. The minutes have been good. Just about obviously like when Boston's at home, do games stay competitive? And
right,
more often than not, they don't. Maybe this retooled Philly team, like kind of healthy-ish team, can keep it competitive. But good with Brown in tournaments. We mentioned Kobe White, DiVincenzo. What is fine in tournaments, Bridges fine in
Yep.
tournaments.
Under 7K guys here. Colin Sexton, Jaden Ivey having an okay night. Healed, as you mentioned. Jordan Clarkson up to 6K there. Anybody sticking out to you? I mean, Sexton's still very capable of scoring. He actually had 10 assists, 9 and 10 assists now in 2 of the last 3. I mean, they want Keontae George to be the guy, but if he's not going to perform, there's going to be minutes available for the other guards in this team.
Yeah, I mean, and they're still playing him. They're doing this like 3-guard lineup too, where they're playing George, Sexton, Clarkson. I'm the 2 in the 6K tier would be the Utah guys for me, Sexton and Clarkson.
Okay.
Sexton was limited. They blew San Antonio out. That game was like really not that competitive. He got taken off the floor. And then on the Jordan Clarkson front, he didn't get taken off the floor because he never gets taken off the floor. And he's now coming off back-to-back pretty good games. So I'm definitely interested in some Jordan Clarkson as
well. Okay. Moving on under 6K here, guys that again probably need some help with, but Murphy, Jalen Suggs, Caruso, Melton return. You have Alec Burks down here. Schroeder, as you mentioned already. Anybody sticking out more than the others for you down in this cheap value range?
I mean, Murphy cannot make a shot, but like he's not this bad. So if there's no McCollum, Murphy, Zion's also questionable in this game. So like there's a lot to monitor. Murphy, if one of them sit, will start. So definitely interested in Murphy if he's in the starting lineup. We talked about Io. Melton's just not going to play enough.
Yeah.
Strus, so inconsistent this year.
LeVert, the Detroit guys down here.
LeVert had a 50 bomb. The Detroit guys, yeah, dude. Quentin Grimes, who did not have the stat line that he has now, up until about the fourth quarter, is right now in a 2-point game, has 14 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 3 blocks. Obviously, the 3 blocks, much of an anomaly, but also made 3 threes, and he's closing. So he closed this game over Jaden Ivey. So even Fournier played 20 minutes. I still think Quentin Grimes is the better play. I think Fournier is 200 cheaper this time. It was reversed on Monday, but yeah, I'm good. Listen, 3-point shooters against Chicago. That's what Quentin Grimes can do. So I'm definitely a little bit interested in some Quentin Grimes.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. To your point, Fournier, 20 minutes tonight. Grimes, 24 off the bench. Grimes definitely having the bigger night there. Small forward position, Jason Tatum, dual positional eligibility. Miles Bridges at 85. Laurie at $8,100. The guys we haven't yet discussed, you can play all of them perfectly fine, getting to either one if you want. I do like this spot still for Marketing. I know we keep going back and forth. He had that run where it's like, oh, not really paying it off. And then he flips the switch 45, 41, 48. And he's still only $8,100. So more than happy to get Laurie Market in here. Franz Wagner's at $7,800 in that range as well. DeRozan at 76. So some definitely playable players here in this top half of the small forward position.
Yeah, and on the Wagner front, it's obviously he'd be very interesting if there's no Paolo, who's questionable again. So there was no Paolo the other day. Franz was good, not great. They got torched on the second leg of a back-to-back, but if there's no Buncaro, Wagner's going to definitely need to shoulder a big load.
Yep, for sure. Value mid-tier range in the 6K and below. Anybody for you? Brandon Miller's here at 68. I know he has shooting guard eligibility. You got Toby. Denny, as you talked about, maybe in or out. We'll see. Sadiq Bey, 59. What's your thoughts here?
Josh Hart, 42 minutes again, 23 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal and a block. If he's just going to play this many minutes, it is what it is. I'm not saying we should, it is what it is. If he's going to be chalky, if he's going to play 42 minutes every single night, why not? Why not just play? If that's what we need people to be on the floor. And if Josh Hart actually starts making shots, look at this. Out of the break, 2 made threes, 2 made threes, 3 made threes. He's had made no shots in the first half of this year. So, Josh Hart 67 would be the guy for me.
Yeah, agreed. Guys in the 5K range, also Thompson had an okay day. Sohan sometimes has a decent spot. Wiggins, Herb Jones, DeAndre Hunter's down here. So some usual suspects and faces that we've plugged into lineups, Keldon, Fontecchio, and so forth.
Dude, I like the DeAndre Hunter role. I figured he may re-enter the starting lineup. That hasn't really mattered. He continues to be really good. He continues to make every free throw he takes, and he's been getting to the free throw line a lot more since returning from injury. The rebounds have been solid. The scoring, the threes, DeAndre Hunter's just been an extremely useful weapon for them off the bench. So I really like his role. I love the matchup, obviously. If there's no Gobert, Kyle Anderson started and played 31 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
He got stack corrected out of a double-double. That was tilting because I had Kyle Anderson in my lineup the other night. So I would definitely get to some Anderson at 47.
Okay. Anderson 47, certainly a good spot for him. And I guess we probably need people to be ruled out for others. I mean, if Ben Simmons gets ruled out, does Lonnie Walker get any extra love here? I mean, what do you think?
Possibly. Okay. Maybe. I mean, he's playing a decent amount on Monday. So 16 minutes, 13.6 rebounds, just having a game where one of those Lonnie Walker games where he doesn't miss.
Yeah. All right. Power forward position again, guys. We've discussed about are up here. Also, some others we have in Giannis against Charlotte at 11-5. We'll touch on Wemby at center. Paolo, we'll see if he's in. Zion, we'll see if he's in. Towns at 82 against San Antonio could be a pretty good one. Him versus Wemby will be a nice matchup to watch. And then, of course, Lordy, we've already discussed. If we're looking at 8K and above, do you have a ranking for us here?
Giannis, Wemby, large gap, everybody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, clearly, those two are just crazy. We know Towns obviously has a 60-point ceiling, but the matchup for him against a guy that probably goes on to win 10 Defensive Player of the Year awards, right? Is going to be something to watch. Jalen Johnson under there. Vucevic now power forward eligibility at $7,800.
I mean, what do we?
Yeah, they classifying Drummond, I guess. But you've been on the Vuk train for a bit now. This dude is cooking.
Yeah, he's been good. He does have his random down games, but he has been a surefire double-double night in, night out. I cannot believe we're looking at him at
power forward eligible Vucevic here. I mean, Porzingis has been a center all year. They give him power forward eligibility all season too. So he's there. Mobley, Kuzma, a pretty good group in the 7K range.
Yeah, I mean, Kuzma should have plenty of opportunity with all the injuries they have. Another guy we saw max minutes, 39 minutes, 27, 7 and 5 against Cleveland. That's tough to do. So love Kuz. Don't love the Mobley minutes. I mean, like we got 34. Was it he couldn't handle it back to back, and then the Washington game, like just 29? Could
Yeah,
he,
I mean, I don't know where the foul trouble came into play. He had 4. Did he have 3 early? Like, I would have to look into that a little bit. I know you're probably pulling popcorn machine up here. He still had 5 blocks and 21 and 6 though. So
yeah, I'm being nitpicky. I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
it's
complaining about 41 fantasy points in 29 minutes here.
he was not third foul. Yeah, he was not in foul trouble.
Okay.
He picked up his 4th foul like within the final 4 minutes of the game. So he just played 29 minutes.
Okay. I meant like I wasn't sure if he had 3 early.
No, he didn't. He had picked up his 3rd in the 3rd quarter and then 4th in the 4th.
I'm still okay going here.
I'm not like against it. I'm just like, again, I'm just
He's matched up against PJ Washington in this game too. Right? Washington's been starting for
they've been using Washington as their primary defender against opposing team's best player. So we might see
it ain't going to be Mitchell.
We might see Washington on Donovan. I'm just saying, we might see PJ Washington on Donovan.
There's zero shot PJ Washington stands in front of Donovan Mitchell in this. He'll be in front of him to start, but like he'll get a blow by.
I'm just saying that's what they've been using PJ Washington as. So it's
the game we've all been waiting for here. Jonathan Collins returned to Atlanta.
Yeah, he did not enjoy his time in Atlanta.
He didn't. Yeah, and most teams, for whatever reason, most teams don't enjoy him on their team. But I mean, we've already been plugging him in pretty consistently. He had an 18 rebound game against Charlotte 2 games ago. Followed it up with 20 actual in a tough spot against San Antonio. Yeah, John Collins is going to be one of the first plugs, I think, for me on this slate.
He
not even revenge game reasoning, just like he's too cheap for the way he's been playing the basketball right now.
He seems better in Utah. Like those trade rumors passed, and then he just seems like he's just playing better.
So yeah,
I like the Collins spot here.
No, I agree with you. I think there's a great spot for him. So not to cut out on Kuminga or Draymond are in that same range. I just think Collins is in a really good spot. Bay at 59, we've talked about here. Any of these 5K power forwards that we haven't discussed yet for you?
I mean, Naz Reid would be interesting if there's no Gobert. The price is obviously up there, but he left recently. He left in that Brooklyn game with an ankle, came back and played. He was really bad, and then he came back and played fine. He's really obviously just good everywhere. So Naz Reid 57 if there's no Gobert. They'll start Kyle Anderson. So, that's something you have to contend with. Are you okay playing 5,700 Naz Reid off the bench? I would be if there's no Gobert, but that is something to keep in mind.
Okay. Let's work our way into the center position here.
Whoa, hold on. Okay. Value centers.
Power forwards. Yeah, Grant Williams, obviously.
Power forwards. He's been kind of in the last couple games. But I mean, Taylor Hendricks would be a guy I would look at. He fouled out in 26 minutes. Good to see him still get to 26 minutes. Really good spot against Atlanta. I'd be willing to go back there. Finney Smith had a really good game, a second straight really good game.
Yeah.
For
a lot of
Brooklyn.
Rebounds in this game.
Yeah, a lot of 11, 7, and 4 in 22 minutes, and I assume he's done considering they're up $1 billion.
He just picked up another rebound.
Okay.
He's still out there.
Okay. Well, good for Dorian Finney-Smith, but he smashed again. Either way, however much he plays, I'm good getting to Finney-Smith. New Orleans, obviously, like if there's no Zion, there's also no Dyson Daniels. Potentially no McCollum, no Alvarado. Najee Marshall probably starts in that if there's no Zion. So
sure.
He's back from his 1-game suspension. So keep that in the back of
our minds. Okay. Center spot then. Wemby at 9K. We talked about a power forward, but just to kind of highlight. Third straight game with 5 blocks. So, man's just crazy, and he's still under 10K. I don't know why. Yep. Towns Lucic, we just talked about. Zinger, Jarrett Allen's at 73. Jalen Duran had a huge game. I don't know if he can repeat that here, but the rebounding is certainly a 16 boards, 11 points tonight. He's just 4 of 11 shooting, but love the rebounds out of him there. Ken Plug Collins got Valanciunas at 63. What are your thoughts at center tonight?
I don't have much to add above that. Marvin Bagley, I'm going to continue to go back to that well. Had 41 fantasy points in 21 minutes against OKC. 1 rebound, 1 assist, or 1 point shy of a double-double against Cleveland. The minutes were great for Bagley, so no reason to think the minutes won't be there again against Golden State. Capella, I mean, the minutes are so frustrating.
I mean, they said he was going to be limited. So at some point, they'll probably remove the limitations here. But, I mean, against Toronto, they said he was going to play 16 to 20. I imagine that was probably still in place against Orlando.
It's just like you see these people come back from like 2-month absences and play like mid-20s. Capella came back from a 3-week absence. Can't even get to 20 minutes. So
Nick Richards played 33. They might need him here.
Yeah, and if Grant's not going to make shots, we've seen this a bunch. Every time a team plays Milwaukee, they just play big. So we could just see Nick Richards get extended.
Speaking of an interesting thing, they started Wendell Carter.
It was crazy. Forward. And him and Goga started alongside one another. Goga didn't like play a whole bunch.
No.
But it was an interesting lineup. So
I only played 2 minutes in that game because of the back-to-back, I guess.
No, he got hurt.
I got hurt again.
He had an MRI. He had an MRI and everything.
Okay.
It came back clean. He's listed questionable. But he got hurt 2 minutes.
Shocker to hear that. Well, we'll see, right? If there's no Paolo,
that comes. Never mind.
Yeah,
not gonna go there.
Yeah. If there's no Paolo, Wendell Carter 53 is kind of interesting.
Yep. Agreed.
Just from a minute ceiling standpoint, I guess. Drummond's 52. Where are you in like Gafford, Kessler, and that whole crew down here?
Kessler's like they don't even care about this guy anymore. It feels like a wash season for him. Like, all right, we'll try again next year. Thanks for coming out. I don't have a lot of interest in much down here. Maybe Bruno Fernando. Okay. He played 19 minutes against Orlando. That's really it. I don't think there's anything else.
Would you play Goga if he started?
It's different because he's 4,400. Like he was min salary the other day, so he was 6x at min salary.
Back to getting close to 20 minutes out of Zach Collins. It's 47 though. Price is
I don't like the value tier. I don't like this value tier.
All right, let's build a lineup then. Where are we beginning this fun adventure? What's our favorite values on this slate here?
Favorite values? Ayo Dosunmu, 54.
Yeah, Ayo's good, 54.
Quentin Grimes. Oh boy. Taylor Hendricks is going to start at $4,100. Fournier, 39. I think I would rather just play. They played Misic 24 minutes. They split with Trey Mann.
Yeah, well, I mean, it felt like the writing was on the wall with Trey Mann after those assists went away, right?
Yeah, after the assists went away. Schroeder, assuming, I mean, they started Schroeder with Ben Simmons healthy. So assuming Simmons doesn't play a back-to-back, Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah, I'm good.
He's out there 18, 5, and 2 right now.
Yeah, I'm good with that. So we got 63, 60. Who's our top spend? Luka, Giannis, Wemby? You got
probably Giannis if that game can stay competitive, probably, right? Giannis, Wemby, one of the two.
Okay. So
I think Wemby's matchup, honestly, like he just is matchup proof at this point.
Okay. I'm happy to go Wemby here. That's fine. It's cheaper. Gives us 6K a play. Let's see. 6K a play. You're in on Josh Hart. Get a little revenge game with Josh Hart here. Let's see. $5,800.
$5,800. Hunter, Fontecchio, Kyle Anderson.
I'm good going Hunter here.
He's been good. I feel like we should get some of that game. Like we actually, you know what? We
Collins.
should maybe fall off of Wemby maybe and go DeJounte.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if we can
No,
afford.
I don't disagree. No, that's
I don't
fine.
know if we can afford both. Maybe if we fell off Hart, we could get to like.
Well, yeah, I got rid of Hart. So let's go Collins at center. Murray, can we get like marketing or something? Let's see, marketing would be 4,500 for a util.
Grimes.
Grimes,
Or Finney Smith.
Both of those guys work for me. Hendricks is down here as well.
Yeah, it would be one of those three for sure.
Okay.
Hendricks is starting if that's.
Yeah, Hendricks works. All right, example lineup for everybody here then. Just an idea. Io, Schroeder, Hart, Hunter, Collins, Murray, Markkinen, and Hendricks. Got a little Atlanta, Utah stack here for this game. Highest game total on the board. So it just makes a little sense to do so. We'll have the playbook out for everybody. Of course, we'll be back live at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So check us out then. Follow us on Twitter. Get in the Discord. We'll talk to you later.